Boom. We are recording. Okay. Hello, Mr. Brown. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. You can call me Randy.
I call you Randy? Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna note that down. Call you Randy. All right,
All
thank
my old buddies from the Iron Work, they used to call me Rand, but it's up to you. Randy's all right.
all right, Randy's good. Was getting here okay? Like you found parking, all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. It's
Yeah,
free.
it's nice. Your secretary's really nice too. She got me this nice little coffee on the way up, so I'm pretty happy. I was longing for a coffee, so I'm really pleased.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's great. All right, well, thank you for the compliment. Well, good thing like everything, getting here was good. Yeah, we moved from a previous location out in a very convenient spot, so it's nice like that. It's nice like that. So yeah, with that said, thank you for coming in. So what my secretary ended up doing beforehand, she drafted me a little blurb just about your situation, what was going on. And what I end up doing is I would just went ahead and I just drafted some questions if you could just answer them for me. So that'll be the first part of today. And then the second part is just I'm going to have you go ahead and just tell your story. Um, and I know, like, it could be, uh, a little hard. So, of course, take your time and stuff. But yeah, of course, we'll get to that. And then following all that, we'll talk about some other stuff. Okay. Do you have any questions before we start?
Oh, that sounds like a good plan.
Okay, okay.
Sounds like you got a good hold on it. You got a good grip on this.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, again, we ended up getting your whole story about your slip and fall, um, your slip and fall injury. So
It was
yeah,
awful, wasn't it?
yeah, it does seem very awful. I'm very sorry to hear about that, and I hope you'll be okay. So yeah. Okay, so I did have a couple questions, and I was just hoping that we can just touch on the landlord and tenant relationship between you guys first. So to make sure you're the tenant of Mr. Singh Dhaliwal and Mrs. Kaur Dhaliwal, right?
Yeah, I was some time ago when the incident happened. I used to live in the basement apartment, but yeah, I moved out of that after that happened. I was so angry with the Dalywalls. They're terrible people, really. So me and my spouse, we just moved out of there.
Oh, so you no longer live there then, right?
No, no, we don't live there anymore.
Okay, okay. Oh, just also to note, if I'm ever looking up here, so right here, our firm has gone completely paperless, and yeah, everything is very digital. So yeah, it's not that um, I'm not looking at you. It's just to take notes, just so I know very important things about your case.
That's all right. I don't look at people directly anyway. It
Oh,
makes me jittery.
oh, okay, all right. So Mr. Singh Dhaliwal and Mrs. Kaur Dhaliwal, when you lived there, they own the property, right?
That's correct. Yeah. They
Oh,
also live there.
okay, so they're also residences of the property?
Yeah, they live there and they own the place.
Okay. And they were your landlords, right?
Yeah. Well, if you could call them that, they were terrible at it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They didn't do much of anything, you'll see.
Uh, oh, sorry to hear about that. Well, at least you're out of there, so yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So you paid rent and you live in this basement apartment of that property, right?
Yep. Me and my wife live there. Yep.
Okay, so it's you and your wife. Okay. And at the time of the slip and fall, rent was paid to Mr. Singh Dhaliwal and Mrs. Kaur Dhaliwal, and you were indeed a tenant on the date of injury. They knew that you were living there.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm a great tenant. I always paid on time. It's always great.
Okay, okay. All right, sounds good. Okay, just have a couple questions now. We'll just move ahead, just with some incident details. So what I'm getting is this. So you slipped and fell on the staircase leading down to the basement apartment that you were a tenant of, right?
Yep. Yep. Put my left foot on that first step and slid right down. That was terrible.
Okay. Um, and that staircase is just one of the main entrances to that apartment, right?
Yep. Yep. That's how I got to get to it.
Okay. And at the time of your fall, the stairs leading down to the basement, they were not sanded, salted, cleared, right?
No, there was nothing at all. There was probably 2 inches of ice on that, super slick. There was a little bit of snow on top of that, make it even slicker, you know. I was wearing my best winter boots, super grippy. Put one step on that, and I was gone.
Okay, so it was full of snow and ice that night?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. No sand, no anything, just snow and ice.
Okay. And then under your tenancy agreement, which I've now learned no longer exists, so the one at the time, your landlords were responsible for the property maintenance, including clearing and salting snow, ice, that sort of
Yep,
stuff, right? Okay.
that's right.
Okay. Um, all right. And then at the time of your fall, overall, the stairs when you're going down there, they not appear to be maintained at all, right?
Not at all. I mean, in the summer it looked all right. It's just, the quality of the steps was fine. The concrete's good and everything. It's just all slick, in the winter. It's from the
Yeah.
leak from the gutters above it. It's just like dropping onto that and making everything so slippery.
Okay. All right, thanks. Okay, so just wanted to go to your injuries and any medical attention.
Mm.
You suffered from a knee injury as a result of the fall, right?
Yup, my right knee's busted.
Okay. Your right knee's busted, fracture, right?
Not fractured. It's all sort of, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I had to go through a bunch of different clinics, but people took MRIs and X-rays. I use words I don't understand, like fusion, something to do with my patellofemoris is something. I don't know. I just know that my right knee's busted. I got the records that got the language and everything, but I know my meniscus is busted. Because I got to do some physio for that, but straighten my quads and everything. But yeah, I got a lot of things going on in that knee.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So do you have medical then result from this incident, right? Like medical
I'm
document.
sorry?
Sorry, you have medical documentation.
Yes.
You sought
Yes.
healthcare. Okay, okay.
Yep.
All right. Um, okay. You saw immediate medical attention after your fall, right?
Just the next day, I think. Yeah, the next day, I think I went with my wife. My wife helped me out when I was on the ground there, and she brought me inside on the couch, put some ice on it and everything, and it just wasn't getting better, right? So I went to the hospital and couldn't walk on it or anything. So I went to see the hospital after that.
Okay. Um, and following this slip and fall, sorry, you've incurred medical expenses out of pocket as a result, right?
Right. Some of this was charged to OHIP, and then the physio is not covered by my health benefits or anything, and I need to do that, or else my knee's getting worse and worse. So yeah, I can't afford it. It's $50 a session. I just don't have the money.
Okay, so right now you're not getting physio, right?
No, I can't afford it right now, and it's part of my treatment. If I don't do it, it's just getting worse and worse.
Okay. And then, as a result of this accident, you've not been able to work.
No, that's right. I'm an iron worker. It's a very physical job, and I can't do it anymore. I can't hardly put any weight on my leg at all. So it hurts when I sit, it hurts everywhere.
Yeah, I understand. My
I'm
dad's a
taking a bunch of meds, taking a bunch of meds all the time to try and manage just the pain in my knees. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand. My dad's a blue collared worker too. So, all right.
Mm.
And then as a result of this accident, you've experienced pain, discomfort with
Yeah.
your injury, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of pain. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just going to the negligence and the legal claims based on what I'm seeing here. So you're claiming that the dolly walls were negligent maintaining the staircase, right?
Yep. They were terribly negligent, both of them. No
Yeah.
salt, no effort whatsoever. It's not just that day too. It was like the whole time. They never ever put any salt. I don't think they even own salt. It was crazy.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
They're a big penny pincher.
Okay, so there were previous incidents where you were going down the stairs and you end up noticing that they were not maintained, right? That what?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So it would be fair to say that those stairs were probably neglected
Yep.
by the Dollywells. Okay, okay. Gotcha. All right. So the expenses you're claiming, in general, are related to your physical injuries, right?
Yep. Physical injuries, yep.
Okay.
Loss of income as
Okay.
well.
And then lost wages, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, okay. I'm just moving and adjusting myself, sorry. Okay, so and in general, what you're looking to really hear about is what expenses you can claim due to their negligence, right?
Yeah, for sure. I want them to, to know that they did something wrong too. I feel like they got out of this scot-free, and I don't think it's fair.
Mhm. I see what.
That they're negligent and I get to pay for that. Now my knee's busted forever.
Yeah, I see what you. And in turn, essentially, you're looking to hold the homeowners, aka your landlords, responsible, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I want them to know that what they did to me was not okay. I don't want them to do this to other people.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay, so thank you for all that. Based on what like you've told me here, I can see it's just been very difficult, stressful for you, your wife, um, yeah, your family, I'm sure. Um, you know, so I understand. So I really would like to help you. So with all that said, um, what I'm gonna ask now is if you can just go ahead and just retell me your story as best as you can. I might just like stop you a couple of times and just ask you some questions. But yeah, again, I'm just wondering if you can just retell me your whole story about um, like any important facts, what led you to have the fall, all that sort of stuff, and just leading up to the present date. Does that sound good?
Yep, that sounds good. I can do that.
Alrighty, when you're ready.
Well, maybe I'll start with the date of the incident. Like it was probably around supper time. It was February 9th. I could remember the day like it was yesterday, changed my life. I was going to my house. I was at the grocery store. It's a funny story, actually. I was buying salt because I was so angry that the landlords never actually salted anything that I figured, even though it's their job, it's getting dangerous for me and my wife. Like I gotta do something about it. So I bought my groceries, bought my salt, and then I walk out of there, bring my bags. I got my grocery bags in my left hand, got my salt bag in the right hand. I go and I I put my left foot on the first stair, and then down I go, and just fell all the way down the stairs, and right away I just hurt my knee really bad. My right knee just really hurt. There was no salt, nothing like that on the stairs, so super slippery. Um, and it's a crazy thing, like just a month before, I was there with I was walking home, and then I saw the bylaw officer was there talking with the landlord, with the Jasvier, Delaware. And he was telling him, like you got to fix that gutter. That gutter's leaking all over the stairs. Okay, so like it was leaking all over our stairs, the basement stairs. And so I think he gave him a piece of paper, gave him some citation, and he told him he had to fix it. And so I talked to the bylaw officer after Jasvier left, and he told me, the guy got to fix this in 2 weeks. And I know he didn't do that because what happened to me happened a month after that, right? So he hadn't done anything. He didn't fix the gutter. It was still pouring all over my stairs. He didn't even bother putting any salt or nothing, right? So it was terrible. And so then, like as you would expect, there's just a bunch of ice that piled up over my stairs, um, and I didn't have time to put the salt or anything. It was in my hands when I fell, and got hurt. So it's pretty crazy that happened like that.
Sorry. So you were saying the gutter leaked water everywhere?
Right, the gutter right above, right, the eaves trough was leaking into the steps. And
Okay,
so the water froze,
okay,
right? And it
okay.
did that, yeah. And I know that's documented somewhere because I know the bylaw officer was there. I talked to that guy. I talked to Officer Brown. and he told me that Jasphere had to fix the eavesdrower, right? He didn't do anything. So I mean, I know that's going to be on the document somewhere. I know he was negligent. So anyway, I had bought the salt, and I didn't have the chance to put it down. I just slipped with it all the way down the stairs. And right away, I've got so much pain in my kneecap, I couldn't get up. So I just kind of like crawled to the door and then knocked on the door, and my wife came over. She helped me get up on the other foot, right? Kind of like imagine this, just carrying me over to the couch, right? And inside the basement apartment, and then I put some ice and things on it, and then the next day I had to show up at the clinic. It didn't get better, man. I couldn't sleep at all. That night it was just so painful. So I showed up to the medical center the next day at a walk-in clinic. I was still limping and everything. And then, they said it was tender and everything, took some x-rays. Um, anyway, so I went through a bunch of different clinics after that in the next couple of weeks. Go from x-rays to MRIs, one thing to the next, to the next. And then eventually um, they picked up on my arthritis and used a bunch of words I don't understand. Anyway, they sent me to see a rheumatologist. He's very nice, actually, Dr. Lee, and he helped me figure out what was happening. There was my meniscus apparently was damaged very badly as well. And he told me I could get a surgery to get it fixed up, right? But I talked to my friends about that, and I looked on WebMD, and I got scared, man. Like it was one of those things where if I take the surgery and it doesn't go well, my knee's going to be completely gone. So I chose not to do it. I chose not to do that surgery for my knee. It was kind of like 100% or zero. So I didn't take it. So he said, well, if you're not going to do that, then you should be going to physio, to get some strength back and fix the knee a little bit. So then he sent me to physio for assessment. He gave me a plan, but the thing is, it costs $50 every time I go there, and I don't have that kind of money. Like after a few sessions, I didn't have the money that it's not covered by my benefits or anything. So anyway, it was super painful. Like I can't sit anymore. It hurts when I use the stairs. Every time the knees bend, it's just all sorts of pain in there. Um, yeah, so that's that. So anyway, like the story kind of takes a bit of a dark turn after, like after I left that apartment, I moved out. We had gotten a house and everything. I used to make good money before as an iron worker, and now I could keep up with my bills at the new place, so that we ended up losing the house, and I went into this I had a big mental breakdown, like was hospitalized for it. They kept me there for 2 weeks before they discharged me. I lost my license, man. They won't let me drive no more because of it. Um, yeah, I got like depression, anxiety, and I still have a bunch of pain in my knee too. And like I'm still taking all sorts of meds, and I got like oxycontin and naproxen and everything like, to help me out with my pain. So it's been a really tough time since the fall, and I can't get a job, right? So, like, nobody's going to hire somebody with knee busted like that, and I can't really do much anymore. So I got a lot of financial struggles. It's not just physical anymore. That's pretty much that. That's pretty much my story.
Okay. A couple questions. So your bylaw was at the Dollywall's home. Um, were you saying that they were cited by the city for your fall?
Yeah, so that was before I fell. That was about a month before the accident. I just happened to walk in, at the same time as they were chatting at the front of the house, and I saw the bylaw officer was telling him he had to fix the gutter because it was leaking all over the stairs. He was doing an inspection, and then he saw that there was a leak. And I knew about that. I knew about that leak for a long time now because I knew he always made all this water on my stairs. But and it got really, really dangerous in the winter. It got super slick. All that water froze, and you would have to put a lot of salt and a lot of dirt on that to make sure it doesn't get bad. But none of that was done. And it was their job to do that.
Okay, okay. I know you were saying that I believe you've been laid off or you have not been working. At present, how are you supporting yourself?
Yeah, as an iron worker, it's kind of a contractor, right? I'm taking the gigs here and there where I could find them. Um, but yeah, that means I also don't get really any benefits. I was kind of my own employer in a way, right? So now I can't really get those gigs anymore because I can't work like that. I can't stand for long hours and go into these tough positions anymore. So we're living on off of my spouse's income right now, really, right? So it's not that much. She works as a secretary, so we're trying to make ends meet, but it's not always easy, and we don't have a penny to spare, honestly.
Okay, okay. All right. I asked because, there's some disability programs. We'll talk about that later, but usually we don't. We can, sorry, we can actually help you apply for them and all that sort of stuff. Um, and yeah, we'll see about that, such as ODSP and CPPD and all that. Just because we don't want you to go without income, of course, right now, as you can imagine. Okay. And then my last question is, like, what are you really looking to get out of this, out of this whole?
Well, for me, I really want the money, to make sure that my knee doesn't get any worse. I gotta be able to afford those physio treatments. I gotta be able to get some of that money, um, to make sure my knee doesn't get any worse. I don't want to be in a wheelchair or nothing, right? Um, and I also want these people to know that what they've done is not okay. I want them to know that I want them to be punished for this, for their negligence. I think that's what I'm trying to get out of this. If I can get any money from these people, to make my life a little bit better, that'd be great. And yeah, I want it known that it's I want them to know that it's not okay what they did.
Okay, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay. All right, that makes sense. And do you have all this? Do you have any documentations relating to your injuries and all that sort of stuff
Yeah.
available?
Yeah. Yeah, I got the documents for all the different clinics and everything. Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, sounds good. All right, with all that said, we'll continue with the paperwork and that sort of stuff. And yeah, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this.
Thank you, thank you. All right.